All right, guys. So today there is a demo session, right? We are going to discuss about that what and all things we are going to learn under MCSA. Okay. And first of all, it is going to be a combo batch, right? Where we are going to cover Azure as well as servers, MCSA. Okay. So first of all, I'll be explaining that what is MCSA, right? What and all things we are going to learn under MCSA. What are the benefits, right? And after that, I will move to the Azure 104. All right. So nowadays you're already aware of that companies, if they want to build the infrastructure, if they want to build the infrastructure in their environment, right? So in that case, obviously servers are must, right? So either they are going to configure Windows Server or they are going to configure Linux servers, right? So we are going to focus on the Windows Server, that how Windows servers can be configured, how it can be how they are going to, how the company is going to operate a Windows Server in the real time environment. All right. How to work with the domain controllers, how to work with the group policies. Then you have DNS server, then you have WDS server, DHCP. So multiple topics are there which we are going to cover in this whole module. Right. So in order to start with the servers, so as such, there is no prerequisite. So if you are not aware of the servers, if you have not ever worked on the server, so in that case also, I'm going to teach in such a way that you will be able to understand it. So first of all, need not to worry about. So if you are not aware of servers and all, so just leave it to me. I'll try to explain each and everything once we are going to start our classes. Okay. So servers are nothing. This server is just a computer system, right? Like you used to have a desktop, you're having a laptop with you, right? Same way, server is also a computer machine, is a hardware basically, where you are going to have high compute power as compared to your laptops, as compared to your desktops. As the name suggests, server. So what it is going to do, it is going to serve some services to the client. So there are two things, server and client. Server who is going to serve the services, and then client who is going to access those services. For example, okay, let me create a new diagram. For example, I have a web server. So what is web server? Where actually I am going to host my website. Like you are able to access nwkings.com. You're able to access facebook.com. Right. So on the back end, actually these websites are configured on the server. That is why from the user end or from your laptop, you are able to access Facebook, NWKings, or whatever the website you used to access from your laptop. It is actually configured on a server. Either it would be a Windows or it is going to be a Linux. Same way, if let's say I have DHCP server. So the responsibility of DHCP server is to distribute the IPs to the client machine. Like whenever you are going to your organization, your company, right? So automatically your laptop will get the IP from your DHCP server. Now again, server is serving the services. It is serving the DHCP services, and the clients, these clients are accessing these services. Right? Now, in case of organization, right, we are going to have a high compute power on the servers. It would be more than 128 GB RAM, right? Intel Xeon 16 core processor, 32 core processor, because we have to make sure that our services should be uninterrupted. right? At the back end, my user should be able to reach to my website. That is my responsibility to ensure that all the users should be able to reach to my website. Or if let's say at a single time, number of users are accessing my website, then in that case, I should configure the load balancing also. Load balancing means if let's say this server is overloaded, this server is already serving request of multiple clients, right? Then in that case, I have to make sure that I should configure one more server, so that if there would be some scenario in which my server will be overloaded, then in that case, second server should start responding to the client. That is called load balancing. Again, this is a part of server itself. All right. Same way, we have multiple things. We have FTP server. We have file servers that are being used in the organization. DNS server, the major thing. So all those things you are going to configure on the servers, and then at the back end, the users, the clients will be able to access those services. So this is just a brief introduction about servers. All right. Then the topics, right, which we are going to cover in this course. First of all, Active Directory, the major thing for any of the organization, right? How you are going to create the user's account, how your users will be able to access the services of your AD, how you are going to implement some policies to your users. So all those things you have to do under Active Directory. Even nowadays, companies are using Azure AD. Nowadays, it is called as Entra AD, right? So if let's say you have a on-prem Active Directory, right, and you want to move to the Entra ID, that is Azure AD, we can do the synchronization also. We can synchronize our on-prem AD to cloud AD also. So how it is going to happen? Obviously, first of all, we have to build our on-prem AD, then only we will be able to migrate it to the cloud, because nowadays companies are moving to the cloud services. But until or unless you're not aware of the on-premises services, then how we will be able to opt cloud knowledge? That is why we build this course, that first of all we are going to learn MCSA, right? And then we will, once we will have our concepts ready, then in that case we can move to the cloud services. Now then, choice is yours, either you want to go for AWS or you want to go for Azure, right? So we will see how to build the Active Directory, right? Then in the AD itself, there are multiple topics that we will be covering. Okay, so we have DNS for Active Directory. So as soon as you are going to configure the DNS for AD, then automatically whatever the system is going to be the part of your domain, you will be able to ping them with their name as well, because they will become the part of your forward lookup zone. Okay, so this comes under DNS for Active Directory. Even we are going to discuss about DNS, right? But first of all, we will understand that how DNS is going to work in case of Active Directory, and then we are going to see that how DNS works for the websites and all. How you are able to access the website with their name. You used to type www.facebook.com. So in the backend, what is happening? Why you are able to open facebook.com while you are typing Facebook only? Because your DNS server is converting your name query to IP. Okay. That is why you are able to access the websites with their name. Again, it is the part of DNS. I will be explaining in the topic itself. Okay. Then we have multiple type of trust also. Trust in the sense, let's say there are two organizations. You can take example of this L&T and Mindtree, right? So these two organizations got merged. Same way you can take example of Vodafone and Idea, VIE, right? So in this case, what I can do, I can just build the trust between two different organizations so that the clients of domain A will be able to access the resources of domain B. Means Vodafone users will be able to access the resources of Idea, and vice versa. Same Idea will be able to access the resources of Vodafone. Right? Then there will be multiple different sites, how to configure the sites. Okay. So this also we will see. Then configuring AD replication. All right. Global catalog, operation master, FSMO roles. Very important, right? Even in interview also, interviewer is going to ask that what is FSMO roles? What is the responsibility of FSMO? Do you know what is FSMO? Any one of you? Hmm? Anybody can explain what is FSMO? See guys, my sessions are going to be interactive, right? So time to time, definitely in the classes itself, I'm going to ask you so that you will be able to answer during the interview as well. Okay. So my sessions are going to be interactive, so no need to worry about. Just unmute yourself. If you are aware of, that is good. Even if you are not aware of, at least try to attempt. Okay. Yeah. So what is FSMO?
I don't know, sir.
No idea?
No idea, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So basically, FSMO are flexible single master operation, right? So whatever the operations you are able to do on your Active Directory, right? You are able to create the user account, right? You are able to create the trust. You are able to create the group policies. So everything, who's managing all these things? Actually, FSMO roles are managing all these things. Each role has its own responsibility, its dedicated responsibility. Because of these roles only, you are able to operate on the AD. You are able to change the membership of the user. You are able to give some delegate control to the user. All those things are because of FSMO roles. Right? I will be explaining each and everything, right? So whatever the topics we are going to discuss, so I have a separate PPT for each and every topic. I'll be sharing it with you once we'll start our classes. So based on that, you will be able to get, and I will be explaining each and everything time to time. All right. Then there are multiple types of domain controller. Okay, do you know what are the domain controller types? Hmm?
No, sir.
What are the DC types?
No, sir.
Okay, so there are basically 4 types of domain controller. First one is PDC, primary domain controller. Primary domain controller. It is always going to be single for any of the organization. PDC is going to be remain single. Like if I'm taking the example of networkings, right? So networking is going to have only one primary domain controller. But networkings can have multiple child domain controller, CDC. PDC is always going to be remain single. Okay. Then the second type of domain controller is additional domain controller, ADC. ADC, additional domain controller. Now, what is ADC? It is the backup for primary domain controller or any type of domain controller. Backup in the sense, obviously, I'm going to configure PDC on a machine, right? It might possible that there is a hardware issue on the machine, or there is some network issue on the machine, or I'm doing some maintenance activity on the primary domain controller. Then how users will be able to reach to PDC? Obviously, I will be needing some backup solution. So in case of primary domain controller or any kind of domain controller, I'm going to configure additional domain controller that is also called as a backup domain controller. It is going to be the backup of PDC, so that if anytime PDC is going to be down, then ADC is going to serve the services. ADC is going to take over the responsibility. Right? Then we have child domain controller, CDC. Child domain controller. So it is called as the branch. Now let's say networking wants to open one subsidiary, right? So that also will be needing one domain controller. Like you can see learn.nwkings.com, live.nwkings.com. So what is learn? What is live? Now NWKings is PDC, right? Then learn and live, it is child domain controller, CDC. This is just an example in order to understand it, right? Same way, let's say I have one company, but I have multiple branches of the organization. My corporate office is in London, but I have multiple branches across India and across other countries also. So what I can do for those locations? I can create the child domain controllers for those locations, because I want to segregate the load, right? That is called child domain controller. And then the fourth type of domain controller is read only domain controller, RODC. As the name suggests, it is just going to have a read only permission. We can't do anything on it. It is a kind of additional domain controller only, right? But in case of additional domain controller, you can create the objects in absence of PDC. But RODC comes with the read only permission. You can't make any kind of changes. You cannot delete the user. You cannot reset the user's password in read only domain controller by default. Okay, but later on it is possible. We can make the changes. We have to make some configuration. Then we can make some changes into RODC as well. But by default, it says that I have only read only permission. I can't do any kind of changes. So these are these four types of domain controller that we are going to configure in our labs. All right. Then we have group policies. Again, the major thing, right? You want to apply your company's organization wallpaper, your organization's wallpaper onto the desktop of your laptops or your devices, basically. So we can create a group policy and we can apply it to the devices so that they are going to have a single wallpaper, my company's wallpaper, on their desktop. Right? You want users will not be able to read the data of pen drive. You can block the pen drive access also through group policy. You want to install some software, you can do it via group policy. You want to map some network drives, you can do it through group policy. And multiple things, basically. These are just a small example I'm just giving, right? So once we are going to start this topic, over there we are going to discuss about multiple type of group policies that are being implemented in the organization, that in real time companies are using these kind of group policies, right? We can configure the account policies also. We can define if the user wants to reset their password, so at least their password should be of 12 characters. You can make sure the password should be complex. User should use special characters in their password when they are going to reset it. So all those things we can define under the account group policy. How to take the backup of the group policy? Let's say accidentally one group policy got deleted. So how we will be able to retain it? How we will be able to implement it back? This we will see under group policies. So templates are nothing. Templates are basically types of group policies. So based on that, we can select our template and we can make some changes onto the template according to our requirement, and then we can deploy it to the devices, to the client machines. All right. Then we have AD environment backup and recovery, right? If let's say there's something wrong with your Active Directory, operating system got corrupted, then in that case, how we will be able to recover our AD? So we are going to make a real-time scenario where actually we will recover our Active Directory through backup.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
सर ये क्लास पूरा इंग्लिश में होगा या थोड़ी बहुत हिंदी में भी होगी?
That I need to check something with the team, right? But as this is just a demo session, okay. So I'll check with the team, and based on that, I will get back to you. All right. Even if needed, I will be explaining in Hindi as well. Okay. So
अभी
need
भी
not to
आप
worry about all these things.
जितने भी मतलब कलीग्स या जितने भी जिन्होंने ज्वाइन किया है, इनसे भी आप एक बार पूछ सकते हैं अगर if they are comfortable in Hindi.
Yeah, so that is I mentioned, right? It is just a demo class, right? So once we will start our full-fledged classes over there, we will take a poll, and based on that, we are going to have the classes, further classes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So backup and recovery, maintenance, right? So all those things we'll be covering in the backup, and then we have certificate, Active Directory certificate services, certificate authority, right? So why CA is needed? CA is basically to encrypt your traffic. So whatever the website you are accessing through your browser, right? See, even you can take the example of this Microsoft, right? So if I'm accessing this Microsoft website, I have to make sure that the communication between client and my website should be secured. So in order to make the secured communication, I have to add a certificate. I have to add a certificate with my website so that it can be encrypted, so that the communication can be encrypted. So that is the difference between port 80 and port 443. In port 80, whenever you are going to access any website, it is going to be in the plain text, right? And when you are going to use port 443, in that case, the traffic is going to be encrypted. No one will be able to track your activity, that what actually you are doing on the internet, because in that case, traffic is going to be encrypted. Now, how this encryption is taking place? That is all because of certificate. Let me show you. See, go to this, and now you can see here connection is secure. Why connection is secure? If I'll click on it, you can see certificate is valid. So this certificate is actually making my communication from my network to Microsoft server secured. So if you will open it, you will be able to see the validity. See, common name, Microsoft Azure, TLS issue, CA, right? So issued on Tuesday, January 30, expires on January 24, 2025. So this certificate and this algorithm, this is basically SHA-256 algorithm. It is making sure that the communication should be secured. Ajay, I will be explaining in the topics itself, right? So for now, you can understand in such a way that whenever you want to make the communication, or let's say you are working in an organization, right? You want to take a system on remote. You are working from home, but you want to access your system from home, right? You want to take that system on remote from your home network. Then in that case also, you have to make sure that the communication between your network and your server should be secured. So in order to make the communication secured, again, I am going to use RDP certificate, remote desktop protocol certificate, which is going to make my connection secure. So certificates are basically to make your connection secure, where each time whenever you're going to access any kind of service from any of the network. That is the responsibility of certificates. Okay, rest I will be explaining in the topic itself. Okay, now DNS. What are DNS? What is DNS? What are DNS zone? What is forward lookup zone? What is reverse lookup zone? What are forwarders? What are host file? What is CNAME record? What is uh, conditional forwarders? What are root hints? Multiple things are there in under DNS. So around DNS itself is going to take around 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so DNS we will discuss in depth. Then we have DHCP services. ओके मैं थोड़ा सा हिंदी भी यूज करता हूँ, ठीक है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू यू कॉन्फ़िगर डीएचसीपी सर्विस आल्सो. अब डीएचसीपी का काम क्या है? आईपी को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना आपके क्लाइंट मशीन्स को, राइट. अब आप इंटरनेट से कनेक्टेड हो, राइट. तो आपके घर पे जो राउटर लगा होगा, उस राउटर ने आपको एक आईपी दिया है, आपके लैपटॉप को एक आईपी दिया है. दैट इज व्हाई यू आर एबल टू एक्सेस इंटरनेट ऑन इट. सेम वे इफ आई एम कनेक्टिंग विद थ्रू जूम, that is all because of IP. I got an IP from my router, और वो राउटर मुझे आपसे बात करा रहा है, राइट. सो हाउ टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द आईपी ऑटोमेटिकली? देखो आईपी को दो तरीके से कॉन्फ़िगर किया जा सकता है. या तो आप मैनुअली आईपी असाइन करो, या आप डीएचसीपी से असाइन करवाओ. सो डीएचसीपी से कैसे असाइन कराना, दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू कवर इन दिस टॉपिक. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न इन दिस टॉपिक. ठीक है. राउटिंग कैसे होता है? अब राउटिंग दो डिफरेंट नेटवर्क है. अगर मतलब थोड़ा सा भी आपको नेटवर्क के बारे में पता है, नहीं भी पता कोई बात नहीं, मैं सारे एक्सप्लेन करूंगा जब हम क्लासेस स्टार्ट करेंगे, ठीक है ना. सो अब आपके पास दो डिफरेंट नेटवर्क है, एक क्लास ए है, एक क्लास बी नेटवर्क है. सो बाय डिफॉल्ट तो ये आपस में बात नहीं कर सकते. दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू कम्युनिकेट विद ईच अदर. आपने एक लैपटॉप को असाइन कर दिया 10.0.0.1 आईपी, राइट. एक लैपटॉप को आपने असाइन कर दिया 172 समथिंग. तो ये दोनों लैपटॉप आपस में बात नहीं कर पाएंगे बाय डिफॉल्ट, ठीक है. अगर आपको बात करवाना है, अगर आप चाहते हो कि 10 सीरीज वाला 172 सीरीज से बात कर सके, यू हैव टू कॉन्फ़िगर राउटिंग. वैसे तो ये नेटवर्क का सीसीएनए का टॉपिक है, ठीक है, बट स्टिल हम ये सब चीजें राउटर पे भी कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हैं। सॉरी, हम ये सब चीजें सर्वर पे भी कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हैं, माय बैड। वी कैन कॉन्फ़िगर द सेम थिंग ऑन सर्वर्स आल्सो। सेम वे यू कैन कॉन्फ़िगर वीपीएन ऑन योर सर्वर्स आल्सो। आइडियली क्या होता है, फायरवॉल पे कॉन्फ़िगर होता है, राइट? बट आपको चाहिए तो आप वीपीएन अपने सर्वर पे बना लो। अब वीपीएन भी क्या कर रहा है, राइट? आप अपने घर के नेटवर्क से कनेक्ट करते हो, आप चाह रहे हो कि आप अपने ऑफिस के नेटवर्क को पिंग कर पाओ। तो जब तक आप वीपीएन, क्योंकि ओपन नेटवर्क तो कोई भी अलाउ ऑफिस करवाएगा नहीं ना, कि अगर आप मान लो किसी भी ओपन नेटवर्क पे कनेक्ट हो गए और आप अपने सर्वर्स को पिंग कर रहे हो, नहीं कर पाओगे आप। तो अगर आप चाहते हो कि वो कम्युनिकेशन हो, तो आप उस चीज में क्या कॉन्फ़िगर करोगे, वीपीएन, वर्चुअल प्राइवेट नेटवर्क। वीपीएन क्या करेगा, जैसे ही आप वीपीएन कनेक्ट करोगे, आप अपने ऑफिस के नेटवर्क में जा सकते हो और ऑफिस के नेटवर्क में कोई भी सर्वर, कोई भी फाइल सर्वर एक्सेस कर सकते हो। अब जैसे कोविड आया था, राइट? अब ड्यूरिंग कोविड टाइम कोई भी ऑफिस तो जा नहीं पा रहा था, बट स्टिल काम चल रहा है, सभी कंपनी का काम चल रहा था। हाउ? दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ वीपीएन। दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज they are able to connect their services, their file servers, their DCs through VPN itself, and then they were able to run their jobs. ठीक है? So VPN also we will configure in this whole module. All right. Okay, then this is DNS server. I already explained this thing. Remote access, right? And then firewall setting, how to apply the firewall rules. So basically we used to have two types of firewall, hardware and then software. So obviously we are going to cover software firewall that by default we used to have with our operating system. कोई भी Windows 10 होगा, कोई भी server operating system होगा, तो Windows firewall उसमें by default होता है, राइट? तो उस फायरवॉल को कैसे सेटिंग करना है, उसके रूल्स कैसे बनाने हैं, कौन ट्रैफिक अंदर आ सकता है, कौन ट्रैफिक बाहर जा सकता है, कौन वेबसाइट, कौन सी वेबसाइट हम एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। माइट भी आपने कभी एक्सपीरियंस किया हो कि आप अपने लैपटॉप पे कोई भी ये, जब भी आप अपने ऑफिस का नेटवर्क कनेक्ट करते हो या फिर जब भी आप अपने ऑफिस में होते हो, आप कोई भी ये सोशल नेटवर्किंग वेबसाइट्स एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते, क्योंकि उन्होंने ब्लॉक किया होता है वो यूआरएल, वो ट्रैफिक उस यूआरएल के लिए अलाउ भी नहीं करवाया वो उन्होंने। वैसे तो वो हार्डवेयर फायरवॉल फायरवॉल पे होता है, बट द सेम थिंग वी कैन कॉन्फ़िगर ऑन द सॉफ्टवेयर फायरवॉल आल्सो, so that we will discuss that how it can be done. All right. Then we have file server, again major topic। किसी भी कंपनी में फाइल सर्वर के बिना तो काम होगा ही नहीं, राइट? फाइल सर्वर्स कैसे बनेगा, फाइल सर्वर के अंदर कितने टाइप के सर्विसेज होती हैं, जैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फाइल सिस्टम, डीएफएस हो गया, राइट? शेडो कॉपीज हो गया, देन डिस्क कोटा हो गया। लेट्स से यू हैव 1 TB स्पेस अवेलेबल इन योर हार्ड डिस्क, राइट? बट आप चाहते हो कि आपके यूजर सिर्फ 1 GB स्पेस यूज कर पाए, वी कैन इंप्लीमेंट द डिस्क कोटा, कि हमारे पास स्पेस है बट आई एम रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग द यूजर कि आप 1 GB से ज्यादा स्पेस यूज नहीं कर सकते। दैट इज कॉल्ड डिस्क कोटा। Later on we can increase it also, or we can decrease it also, that is on our requirement, that is on our basically we can customize it whenever it is needed. All right. Then we have WSUS, again major thing, but to be very honest, nowadays companies are not using WSUS, they are using SCCM or Intunes in order to deploy the latest updates to their operating system। WSUS का काम क्या है? अब देखो, मेरे पास ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, विंडोज 10 है, विंडोज 11 है, सर्वर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, राइट? तो एज अ सिस्टम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, ओके, वेन एवर यू आर गोइंग टू वर्क एज अ work on the server, then in that case your profile might be, it would be systems engineer, it would be server administrator, it would be system administrator, it would be system operations engineer, ऐसे कुछ भी प्रोफाइल हो सकता है आपका, ठीक है? तो ये एक सिस्टम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर प्रोफाइल का रोल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है दैट कि उनको जितने भी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, राइट, उनको अप टू डेट रखना है। अप टू डेट कैसे? माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हर सेकेंड ट्यूसडे को पैच रिलीज करता है, लेटेस्ट अपडेट रिलीज करता है उनके ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम की या फिर उनके प्रोडक्ट्स की। सो इट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दैट वी शुड डिप्लॉय दोज लेटेस्ट पैचेस टू अवर डिवाइसेस, सो दैट जो हमारे डिवाइसेस हो वो सिक्योर्ड हो, वल्नरेबल ना हो, राइट? सो अर्लियर companies used to do it through WSUS services, Windows Server Update Services. But nowadays they are doing it through SCCM, or they are doing it through any third-party tool also. There are multiple third-party tools available in the market, which you can take the subscription and then you can deploy the latest patches to the devices. तो ये सब डिस्कस करेंगे इसको कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करना है। इवन इन वंस आई विल टच अप दिस टॉपिक, आई विल लेट यू नो कि SCCM भी कैसे काम करता है। ओके, then storage high availability, right? Deploy images by using Windows Deployment Services, WDS. अब अगर मान लो आपने एक नया लैपटॉप खरीदा कंपनी में, राइट, उसके अंदर आपको अगर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंस्टॉल करना है, तो अब वहां पर अब पेन ड्राइव से यूज नहीं इंस्टॉल करोगे आप, या फिर आप डीवीडी से इंस्टॉल नहीं करोगे, आप नेटवर्क से इंस्टॉल करोगे। तो अगर नेटवर्क से आपको इंस्टॉल करना है, इन दैट केस यू हैव टू इंस्टॉल WDS सर्विसेज एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू डिप्लॉय द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम through your WDS server. Yes, Rajkiran, we are going to talk about NAT. Definitely, yes, I will show you. Okay. Then web server. As I explained in the diagram, like, right, let's say I have a website and I want to make sure my users will be able to reach to my website. Then in that case, how I will be able to build the web server. That also we will discuss in the module. Okay. Then FTP, file transfer protocol. How to transfer the files securely from one location to another, right? So that I will explain in this topic. Yeah. So these all things we are going to cover under MCSA, right? And just for a tracking purpose, what I did, I just made a Excel sheet so that we will be able to track each and every topic. Okay. So if I have missed something, then in that case, we can track it from here also. So around 44 topics we are going to cover in this whole module, which will take 50 plus hours, 40 to 50 plus hours. Okay. So again, introduction to MCSA and VMs. Now, how we are going to implement our lab? अब मैंने ये सब बता तो दिया कि अब सर्वर बनाएंगे, राइट, DHCP बनाएंगे, डोमेन कंट्रोल बनाएंगे, बनेगा कैसे? बट तो हम लोग जो टेक्निक यूज करेंगे वो यूज करेंगे वर्चुअलाइजेशन, जो मेजरली कंपनी में यूज भी होता है। आपने टूल के नाम सुने होंगे, Hyper-V, VMware, राइट। इवन जब भी आप नौकरी प्रोफाइल पे जाओगे वहां पर आपको दिखेगा, एज अ सर्वर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, एज अ सिस्टम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, यू शुड हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ वर्चुअलाइजेशन। और वर्चुअलाइजेशन में आपको आपको ऐसे टूल्स की नॉलेज होना जरूरी है, right? So we are going to implement it in a real time, and I'm going to show you how to install these tools or how to configure the virtual machines. Okay. Then we have types of domain controller. This is what I explained: PDC, ADC, CDC, RODC, right? Then Active Directory, domain and IO delegation, remote server administration tools, group policies, AD administrative center, DHCP failover. Like we did the backup for, we configured the backup for PDC, right? We made ADC. ऐसे ही अगर आपको DHCP का बैकअप सर्वर बनाना है तो उसको DHCP फेल ओवर बोलते हैं, कि अगर आपका मेन DHCP कभी डाउन हो जाए, देन इन दैट केस users will be able to get the IPs from failover server. ये एक अलग सर्वर होगा, ठीक है ना. Then we have DHCP relay agent, FTP web server, network load balancing cluster. This is what I explained कि आपको अगर आपका सर्वर अगर आपका वेब सर्वर कभी ओवरलोडेड हो रहा है, राइट. आपने देखा होगा कभी आप जब पहले आप अपना अपना रिजल्ट देखते थे वेबसाइट पे, तो सर्वर डाउन हो जाता था. क्यों? क्योंकि उसी टाइम पे पूरी इंडिया में लोग अपना रिजल्ट देख रहे होते थे. दैट इज वाई सर्वर की अपनी एक कैपेबिलिटी है. जितना उसका कंप्यूट पावर है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट ओनली सर्वर विल बी एबल टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू द क्वेरीज ऑफ द यूजर्स. अब उसका भी तो एक लिमिट है ना. जैसे वो लिमिट क्रॉस हुआ, उसने रिजल्ट दिखाना बंद कर दिया. बट ऐसी चीज ना हो, फॉर दैट वी कैन कॉन्फ़िगर द लोड बैलेंसिंग, कि अगर एक सर्वर ओवरलोड हो रहा है तो दूसरा सर्वर आपस में लोड शेयर कर ले, और मेरे यूजर आराम से अपने लैपटॉप पे या फिर कैफेज में बैठ के अपना रिजल्ट एंड ऑल वट एवर जो भी वेबसाइट देखना चाहते हैं, वो लोग उनको उसको ओपन कर सकें. दैट इज नेटवर्क लोड बैलेंसिंग. ओके. देन वी हैव प्रोफाइल्स, roaming profile, local profile. Okay. We have folder redirection. Then trust type. There are multiple types of trust that we will see. Forest trust, shortcut trust, child, parent child trust. Multiple things are there that we will see practically. अच्छा, जितने ये सब चीजें हैं, everything is going to be based on practical. कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है कि theoretical है. मैं आपको practically करके दिखाऊंगा. So that you will be able to understand, right? So first of all हम concept सीखेंगे कि अगर ट्रस्ट है तो वो क्यों है, क्यों चाहिए मुझे ट्रस्ट, क्यों कॉन्फ़िगर करना है ट्रस्ट, राइट. सो फर्स्ट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट, फिर हम लोग उसको प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंट करके देखेंगे. तो कंसेप्ट समझना ज्यादा जरूरी है एज कंपेयर टू प्रैक्टिकल. प्रैक्टिकल तो आप बाद में वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग आपको मिलेगा, ऑब्वियसली आप बाद में भी देख कर सकते हो खुद से. बट द फोरमोस्ट थिंग इज, मेजर थिंग इज, आपको कंसेप्ट आना जरूरी है. क्योंकि इंटरव्यू जब देने जाओगे तो आपको इंटरव्यूअर लैपटॉप नहीं देगा कि चल भाई सर्वर कॉन्फ़िगर करना है. नो no. वो आपसे पूछेगा कि अगर पीडीसी कॉन्फ़िगर किया था तो क्या क्या स्टेप फॉलो किए थे, ग्रुप पॉलिसी बनाया था तो कहां बनाया था. ऑलराइट. सो पहले कंसेप्ट समझा, पहले डायग्राम से समझेंगे कैसे काम होगा, किस पोर्ट नंबर पे काम होगा, राइट. देन वी विल अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू implement in the lab. Okay. And everything is going to be based on real time scenario, कि कंपनी में कैसे काम होता है, कंपनी में ट्रबल शूटिंग कैसे होता है, कोई पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट नहीं हो रहा, उसके लिए क्या ट्रबल शूट करें हम, किसी डिवाइस को डीएचसीपी सर्वर से आईपी नहीं मिल रहा, क्या ट्रबल शूट करें हम. ऑलराइट. देन वी हैव NAT, नेटवर्क एड्रेस ट्रांसलेशन. किसी ने मेंशन किया था चैट में, सो ऑब्वियसली वी आर गोइंग टू कवर NAT आल्सो. देन फाइल एंड प्रिंट मैनेजमेंट. अब कंपनी में एक सेंट्रल सर्वर बना, प्रिंटर बना होता है, प्रिंटर है एक, राइट. उस सेंट्रल प्रिंटर को 200-500 यूजर्स एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं. दे आर एबल टू सेंड द प्रिंट जॉब टू द प्रिंटर. हाउ इट इज गेटिंग डन? That is all because you have to make a print server so that each and every user will be able to access the printer and they will be able to send the print job. So how to do it? That also we will see in this topic. Then VPN with network policy server, and then VPN with radius server. Then we have remote desktop services, data deduplication, BitLocker, file server resource manager, FSRM, storage, FSMO roles, shadow copies, DFS, replication and namespace, WSUS patching. Okay. Then FSMO roles, seize and transfer. Then AD migration और upgradation. मतलब अब समझो आपने एक एक्टिव डोमेन कंट्रोलर बनाया विंडोज 2016 सर्वर पे. आपको पता होगा सर्वर के ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के मल्टीपल फ्लेवर हैं, राइट. जैसे सर्वर 2016, सर्वर 2019 एंड सर्वर 2022. 22 इज द लेटेस्ट वन. ठीक है. अब फॉर एग्जांपल मेरी कंपनी बहुत पुरानी है, राइट, और वहां पे ऑलरेडी डोमेन कंट्रोलर है, वो 2012 सर्वर पे या फिर 2016 सर्वर पे चल रहा है, बट आई वांट टू अपग्रेड इट टू 2022। कंपनी में प्रोजेक्ट है आजकल ये कि आपको अपने डीसीज को अपग्रेड करना है, क्योंकि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने क्या किया है, 2012 सर्वर्स के अपडेट माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अब रिलीज ही नहीं करता। उसने सपोर्ट अक्टूबर 23 में बंद कर दिया था। कोई सिक्योरिटी अपडेट्स नहीं है। अगर आप सर्वर चला रहे हो 2012, तो वो आपका अपना रिस्क है। माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग इट। ऑलराइट, सो इन दैट केस इफ यू नीड टू अपग्रेड टू द लेटेस्ट वर्जन, देन सो दैट वी विल सी कि अपग्रेड कैसे करना है। ठीक है। देन वी हैव एडीएफएस, एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी फेडरेशन सर्विसेज। अगर आपने कभी सुना हो सिंगल साइन ऑन, एसएसओ, राइट। अब आप आपकी कंपनी में आप मल्टीपल टूल यूज करते होंगे, जैसे जीरा हो गया, टिकटिंग टूल है जैसे जीरा, राइट। ऐसे और आपकी सैलरी स्लिप्स आती होंगी एडीपी पोर्टल पे, राइट। या फिर आप कोई भी एक थर्ड पार्टी टूल यूज कर रहे हो, बट उस टूल पे आप अपनी कंपनी के ईमेल अकाउंट से लॉगिन कर पाते हो। ये कैसे हो रहा है? दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ सिंगल साइन ऑन। दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ फेडरेशन ट्रस्ट बिटवीन योर कंपनी एंड दैट थर्ड पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। इवन आप इसका ही एग्जांपल ले लो, ऑफिस 365 का। ऑफिस 365 पे या फिर आउटलुक पे या फिर टीम्स पे आप अपनी कंपनी के ईमेल अकाउंट से लॉगिन कर पाते हो। वो क्यों? दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ सिंगल साइन ऑन। ठीक है। देन वी हैव बैकअप एंड रिस्टोर। सर्वर का बैकअप, पूरा बैकअप कैसे लेते हैं, या फिर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का बैकअप लेना है, या फिर किसी पर्टिकुलर ड्राइव का बैकअप लेना है, या फिर किसी पर्टिकुलर फोल्डर का बैकअप लेना है, या फोल्डर के अंदर पर्टिकुलर किसी फाइल का बैकअप लेना है। दैट वी विल सी इन द बैकअप। एंड फिर उस बैकअप को लेके हम लोग रिस्टोरेशन भी करेंगे कि हम उसको रिस्टोर कैसे कर सकते हैं अगर कुछ चीजें हमसे डिलीट हो जाएं, राइट, बट हमने उसका बैकअप लिया हुआ है, तो हम उसको रिस्टोर कर सकते हैं थ्रू बैकअप। ठीक है। देन वी हैव WDS, विंडोज डिप्लॉयमेंट सर्विसेज, रेड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, रेड 0, रेड 1, रेड 5, रेड 1+0, रेड 6, राइट। Then we have AD sites and services, IFM, install from media, IPAM, IP address access management, फाइल सर्वर, फेल ओवर इन फाइल सर्वर। जैसे देखो सबका फेल ओवर हमने बात की, पीडीसी का फेल ओवर बना दिया, डीएससीपी का फेल ओवर बना दिया। ऐसे ही अगर आपके पास फाइल सर्वर है कंपनी में, राइट, वो कभी फेल हो जाता है, तो उस केस में उसका फेल ओवर कैसे बनेगा, दैट वी विल डिस्कस इन फेल ओवर फाइल सर्वर। देन वी हैव डीएनएस, एंड देन forest and domain function level, then NIC teaming, then PowerShell, and then Windows Admin Center. Last but not least, that is Windows Admin Center. So these 44 topics we are going to cover in this whole module. Now let me give you a chance. If you have any query, then in that case you can unmute yourself and you may ask.
क्वेरी तो बहुत है।
Yes, you can ask then.
मतलब आपने जो जो बोला इसमें से बहुत कुछ समझ में नहीं आया ऐसा।
कोई बात नहीं, वो इसलिए नहीं आया, माइट भी आपने कभी इन चीजों को किया नहीं, राइट। ये सिर्फ एक अच्छा, आपकी प्रोफाइल क्या है? आर यू वर्किंग इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और लाइक हाउ आर यू स्टडिंग?
I was working. I left the job almost 6 months back.
ओके,
So right now I'm trying to upgrade myself.
ओके। सो इन विच प्रोफाइल यू वर वर्किंग अर्लियर?
I work for Convergys, like desktop support for Windows.
Converges, then you should be aware of all these things, right? Converges are basically it is for Microsoft itself, right? They are managing Microsoft operations.
I was in Microsoft, but I was for the not for the like I was in the consumer side, not in the
Okay,
commercial side.
okay, 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 okay. No
So
problem. They
few
just
things I do understand, like SSO and all those stuff, Teams, Windows, or Office,
mm-hmm.
Outlook. So then the port numbers, like whatever we use while we're configuring Outlook. That's it.
Okay, okay.
Apart from that, like the rest others, it's like I hope you understand.
Don't worry, don't worry. This is what I mentioned, right? If you are not aware of all those things, need not to worry about, right? So as this is just a demo session, might be आपके ऊपर से जा रही होंगी कुछ चीजें, right? But need
हाँ,
not to worry about. Definitely, जब topic को start करेंगे, I will be starting it from very scratch. Okay?
और एक सवाल, एमसीएसए
Yes.
का अभी सर्टिफिकेशन होता है कि नहीं होता है?
Yes, there is. It is AZ 800 nowadays. Okay, where actually you should have knowledge of both on-prem as well as cloud. You can go for 800. The alternate is AZ 800. All right. Even let me show you. So it is already. Let me open it. So here you can see AZ 800 administering Windows Server hybrid core infrastructure. So whatever the things I have mentioned, see. Deploy and manage identity infrastructure, right? If I'll open it, you can see introduction to Active Directory Domain Services, ADDS, right? Same way, if I'll go down, domain controller and FSMO roles, right? Group policies, right? Then manage advanced feature of Active Directory Domain Services and implement hybrid identity with Windows Server. Hybrid in the sense you can manage both cloud and on-prem infra. Or if let's say you have on-prem servers and you want to migrate them to the cloud, that is also possible. But for this, you should be aware of Azure cloud services. Then only you will be able to do it. But these things, group policies, ADDS, and then OUs, groups, everything, these we are going to cover. Okay. And rest of, like, let me show you other module also. Let me go back. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे configure storage and file services. I talked about file servers and all. Windows Server file servers, right? Shadow copies, implementing storage spaces and storage spaces direct. This is what I talked about, right? That if you want, you can apply a quota on your disk. So basically, see, data deduplication. This is what I talked about. If you want to get the certificate, definitely you can go for AZ 800. Okay, yes, MCSA is no more available with Microsoft now, but you can go with AZ 800. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anything else I can help you with? Anyone, if you want to unmute yourself, you can ask before I move to the further slide.
Hi, sir. Sir, will this class run on weekend or regular basis?
It's a regular class, like 5 days a week.
Same.
Monday to Friday.
Okay, same time, sir. 8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned all these topics we are going to cover in this module, but how we are going to configure the lab, how we are going to make those servers. So in that case, we have a service called, or we have a feature called virtualization. Right? So virtualization can be, there are multiple hypervisors, right? VMware. So you can create your virtual machine. अभी देखो मेरे पास एक टूल है, मेरे पास ये VMware है, राइट? बट इस VMware के अंदर ही मैंने कितने सारे सर्वर्स बना के रखे हैं. रियल टाइम कंपनी में भी ऐसे काम होगा. हार्डवेयर एक होगा. अब देखो मेरा लैपटॉप तो ये एक है ना, बट अगर मैं चाहूं तो इतने सारे ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम अभी रन कर सकता हूं. ऐसे ही कंपनी में सर्वर एक होगा, राइट? आपने क्या किया, आप क्या करोगे वहां पे, आप वहां पे वर्चुअलाइजेशन बना दोगे. सर्वर का कंप्यूट पावर अच्छा है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट आप मल्टीपल वर्चुअल मशीन बना दोगे और हर एक वर्चुअल मशीन पे एक डेडिकेटेड फीचर इंस्टॉल कर दोगे। जैसे एक को बना दिया, एक वीएम को आपने बना दिया प्राइमरी डोमेन कंट्रोलर, एक वीएम को बना दिया आपने डीएचसीपी सर्वर, एक वीएम को आपने बना दिया फाइल सर्वर, लाइक दैट। बट हाँ, वहां पे एक ड्रॉबैक है, अगर पूरा सर्वर डाउन हो गया तो आपकी जो तीनों सर्विसेज हैं ये भी डाउन हो जाएंगी, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली उस सर्वर के अंदर ही ये वर्चुअलाइजेशन बना हुआ है ना। मतलब आप ये समझो कैसे काम करता है वर्चुअलाइजेशन। सो नाउ लेट्स से दिस इज माय लैपटॉप, ठीक है। अब इस लैपटॉप के अंदर ऊपर मैंने क्या किया, एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंस्टॉल किया। ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम कैन बी इधर विंडोज 10 और विंडोज 11। अब इस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के ऊपर मैं मल्टीपल सॉफ्टवेयर रन कर सकता हूँ, राइट। मैंने क्रोम इंस्टॉल कर दिया, एक्रोबैट इंस्टॉल कर दिया, फोटोशॉप इंस्टॉल कर दिया, राइट। सेम वे मैं एक टूल यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल कर सकता हूँ, दैट इज VMware और Hyper-V। अब ये मान लो Hyper-V है। अब इस Hyper-V में I can create as many as virtual machines I want based on the compute power of my laptop। कंप्यूट पावर मतलब कितना रैम है मेरे पास, कितना हार्ड डिस्क है मेरे पास, क्या मेरा प्रोसेसर है। बेस्ड ऑन दैट आई कैन क्रिएट मल्टीपल वर्चुअल मशीन्स। अब मान लो एक वीएम को मैंने बना दिया प्राइमरी डोमेन कंट्रोलर, एक को मैंने बना दिया फाइल सर्वर, और एक को फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने बना दिया डीएचसीपी सर्वर। तो जब तक लैपटॉप रन कर रहा है, क्योंकि सॉफ्टवेयर कहां इंस्टॉल्ड है, लैपटॉप के ऊपर, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के ऊपर। तो जब तक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रन कर रहा है या फिर जब तक लैपटॉप ऑन है, तब तक ये वर्चुअल मशीन्स रन होंगी। as soon as I'm going to turn off my laptop, obviously ये वाली वर्चुअल मशीन्स भी बंद हो जाएंगी। ऐसे ही अगर मेरा लैपटॉप खराब हो जाता है तो ये सारा डेटा मेरा लॉस्ट हो जाएगा, इट विल गेट लॉस्ट। अगर बैकअप लिया हुआ है वो अलग चीज है, हम बैकअप से रिकवरी कर सकते हैं, राइट। इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू टेक द बैकअप, इन दैट केस वी विल लूज ऑल द डेटा। ठीक है, तो ऐसे वर्चुअलाइजेशन काम करेगा। कंपनी में भी अब क्या है, कंपनी ने एक लैपटॉप, एक अच्छा कंप्यूटर पावर खरीद लिया सर्वर का, और उसके बाद बेस्ड ऑन दैट उन्होंने क्या किया, मल्टीपल वर्चुअल मशीन्स बना ली। वैसे वंस इन अ वाइल ही होगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि ज्यादा इशू आएगा सर्वर पे, हार्डवेयर पे। तो वो एक वर्स्ट टाइम हो सकता है जहां पे आप ये सब चीजें फेस करो। दैट इज वाई अब कंपनी क्या करे, तभी तो वो क्लाउड पे जा रही है, उनको ये सब टेंशन लेने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। आप देखो, अगर मैं मान लो ये वाला सारा एनवायरनमेंट बिल्ड करूंगा, ठीक है, तो मुझे क्या करना होगा। अगर किसी ने कभी देखा होगा डेटा सेंटर कैसा होता है कंपनी में, ठीक है, तो मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ डेटा सेंटर बनता कैसे है। तो सबसे पहले मुझे क्या चाहिए होगा, सर्वर रैक। जैसे हमारे शू रैक्स होते हैं ना, हम उसमें अंदर अपने शूज रख देते हैं, ऐसे सर्वर्स को माउंट करने के लिए सर्वर रैक होता है, राइट। इन जो ये स्लॉट्स बने हुए हैं, यहां पर सर्वर्स को माउंट किया जाता है, ऐसे। या फिर अगर मैं आपको इंटरनेट पे दिखाऊं, ये देखो, ये सब रैक्स लगे हुए हैं यहाँ पे, ये देखो, ये रैक्स है, राइट। इन पे ये सर्वर माउंटेड है। ऐसे ही आपकी कंपनी में भी एक डेटा सेंटर होगा। बट अब कंपनी क्या कर रही है, कंपनी, क्योंकि देखो अगर उनको डेटा सेंटर मैनेज करना है, सो दे वांट पावर बैकअप ऑल्सो। क्योंकि अब डेटा सेंटर अगर ऑफिस में ही है और पावर ही नहीं है, पावर बैकअप ही नहीं है, और लाइट चली जाती है, क्या फायदा उस डेटा सेंटर का। सेम वे इंटरनेट का भी उनको मैनेज करना पड़ता है, आईएसपी उनको 2-3 आईएसपी रखने पड़ते हैं बैकअप में, कि अगर एक आईएसपी डाउन है, आई कैन स्विच माय ट्रैफिक टू द सेकंड आईएसपी। फिर उसी के साथ उनको
कूलिंग।
एयर कंडीशनिंग मैनेज करना है पूरे डेटा सेंटर का। दे हैव टू मेक श्योर एनवायरनमेंट शुड बी कूल, क्योंकि सर्वर के फैन चलते हैं बहुत तेज, राइट, जिसके कारण हीट हो जाती है डेटा सेंटर में। सो एनवायरनमेंट भी मैनेज करना है, राइट। फिर उसके बाद मुझे एक दो बंदे भी चाहिए जो वहां पर 24/7 रहे, so that there would be if there would be any issue, they will be able to report to the manager or the teammates. बट क्लाउड के केस में ये सारा काम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट करेगा, ये सारा काम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट करेगा। अगर आपने एज्योर सर्विसेज ले ली, वहां पर आपने वर्चुअल मशीन्स बना ली, सो एवरीथिंग ऑन द बैक एंड, अगर कोई सर्वर डाउन भी होता है उनके एंड से, राइट, फिर भी हम उन सर्विसेज को एक्सेस कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि जैसे कोई सर्वर डाउन होगा, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हमारी सर्विसेज को दूसरे सर्वर पे मूव कर देगा। सेम वे इंटरनेट डाउन होगा तो वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की टेंशन है, सेम वे हार्डवेयर में कोई इश्यू होगा, वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की टेंशन है। दैट इज व्हाई कंपनीज आर मूविंग देयर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू क्लाउड। ओके, तो या सो आई वाज मेंशनिंग कि क्या होता है डेटा सेंटर में, क्या होगा, ऐसे रैक्स लगे होंगे, ठीक है, और रैक्स में आपके ऐसे सर्वर माउंट रहेंगे ऐसे। अब आपको इन सर्वर्स को रिमोट पे लेना है, इनका आरडीपी सेशन लेना है, और सेशन लेके आपको अपनी इंस्टॉलेशन स्टार्ट कर देनी है। इसमें जो भी आप करना चाहते हो यू कैन डू इट। ऐसे ही करके बहुत सारे रैक्स होंगे कंपनी के अंदर या आपके डेटा सेंटर के अंदर। कभी चांस मिले तो देखना। ऑलराइट, तो हम लोग यूज करेंगे वीएमवेयर या फिर हाइपर वी। वीएमवेयर क्या है? ये एक थर्ड पार्टी टूल है, ये माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के साथ नहीं है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के साथ नहीं आता, राइट। बट if you are going to procure any Windows Server or even Windows 10 Pro और Windows 11 Pro, आपको बाय डिफॉल्ट Hyper-V आपके ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के साथ ही मिलेगा। In my case, I am using Windows 10 Pro, right? And I am able to get Hyper-V on my machine. See, Hyper-V Manager. ये सिर्फ अगर आप Windows 10 Pro या फिर Enterprise यूज कर रहे हो, in that case you can enable it. अगर आपके पास होम वर्जन है, इन दैट केस आई विल प्रोवाइड यू वन स्क्रिप्ट, आपको वो स्क्रिप्ट अपने लैपटॉप में रन करनी है और आपको वो मिल जाएगा। ओके, पेट्रोस, ओके, सो यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, हाँ? Just manage for
Yes.
today. What I'll do from next time onwards, I will be explaining. We will segregate, or based on that, we will select. We will create the classes. So based on the languages or based on the basically students, I'm going to have the classes for the I'm going to have further classes. Okay, just try to manage for today. Yeah,
All right, chef.
yeah. Yeah. So we are going to use Hyper-V and we are going to use VMware both, so that you will be able to mention in your CV that you have the knowledge of both tools, that you have worked on both the tools. Because see, if you're going to work, if you're going to see in the network, in the Naukri profile, right? So even let me show you practically, right? So if I'll go for Naukri, right? Let me search for system administrator profile. Okay, let me open any one of them. Team lead IT infrastructure system admin, right? Let's try to search what and all things they are asking. Okay, first of all, see, Windows Server, Active Directory, group policies, virtualization. Even they're asking for Azure. This is what I mentioned, that this is going to be the combo batch, right? You can register yourself for Azure course also, Azure 104 also. Because nowadays it is must. For a system administrator, it is must that you should have the knowledge of cloud also. Okay, and if I'll go down, might be you will get some tool name also. Group policy virtual. See, Hyper-V, VMware, both tools are there. Key skills, right? Windows Server, Windows Administration, Group Policy, Virtualization, Active Directory, Hyper-V and VMware. So these tools are also must. You should have the knowledge of these tools also in order to work as a system admin profile. See, it is a team lead basically, right? It's a good profile basically. It is for 6 to 10 years, right? Same way, even if you are going for fresher also, or you are going for 1 or 2 years experience profile also, then also they're going to ask these things, that you should have knowledge of either of the tool, VMware or Hyper-V. Then again, this cloud technology is also must. Right, so if you are going to opt for both the batches, definitely I can make sure that you will be able to crack this interview. Whatever the things they have mentioned, definitely you will be able to crack it. And along with it, I'm going to provide the interview questions also. So once we will complete our MCSA and both Azure batch, right, I'll be giving the interviews of I will be giving you the interview question of both the topics, on-prem as well as cloud. Only 100 questions I'm going to provide you guys, right? So if you will be able to answer them, or if you will be able to cover them, definitely you will get the job. You will be able to crack your interview. So based on my experience, or based on the like interviews I used to take, or based on the interview I had in my previous experience, definitely I created a full-fledged PPT, a PDF basically, where actually you will be able to get all the interview questions based on these modules, which is going to help you out for your interview preparation. Okay.
Sir,
Yep.
is certification important, necessary?
Yes, at some point it is necessary. Now let's say I have experience of 8 years now, right? So if I need to jump into any other company, then I have to make sure that I should be certified. I should be having a global certification. For fresher, or let's say if you are 3 or 4 years of experience, then in that case it is not needed. But once you are going to have a good experience, then you should be a global certified engineer. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned, I'm going to provide you all the PPTs related to the topics, whatever I have mentioned in the Excel sheet. Okay. I'm going to provide you this Excel sheet also, so that you will be able to track that what and all topics are covered and what and all topics are pending. Right. I used to make it as green, right? So you can see these are my previous batches, right? So for these batches, I used to make it green. If some of the topic is covered, any of the topic is covered, I used to make it green. Same way you will also be able to track it. Okay. Along with it, I'm going to give you a PDF of Windows Server 2016 and 2019. I don't have for 2022 for now, but if let's say I'll get in future, definitely I'll be sharing the Windows Server 22 book also. It is a soft copy. Okay. I'm going to create a Google Classroom link. Over there, you will get all the PPTs, all the study material, and all the interview question related to MCSA. Same way, I'm going to create for the Azure also. And over there, you will get all the PPTs, all the study material, and all the interview question related to Azure. Right. So Azure, we are going to strictly follow all the topics provided by the Microsoft. Right. In order to basically clear Azure 104 exam, right? Whatever the topics they have mentioned, like if I'll open Azure 104.
हेलो सर।
Yep.
सर मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन है।
हाँ जी बताओ।
सर वैसे मेरा ये फील्ड नहीं है, मतलब मुझे थोड़ा सा टफ हो रहा है। मतलब मैंने एमए इकोनॉमिक्स किया है।
MA इकोनॉमिक्स।
हाँ।
ओके।
मेरे लिए सुटेबल है, मतलब मैं सीखना तो चाहती हूँ, सीख भी रही हूँ। बाद में इशू तो नहीं होगा जॉब को लेकर?
सी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आईटी में आजकल बीए वाले भी हैं, राइट? आई कैन गिव यू सम एग्जांपल्स मेरी खुद कंपनी में, राइट? सो देयर आर सम डेवलपर्स
I
who
am
did
also
bachelor in
BSc.
arts, right? So MA economics and all, it doesn't matter at all. The thing is, you should have the knowledge of IT. That's it. आपको IT का आता है, आपको सर्वर आता है, आपको ये सब चीजें आती है जो आपको ये नौकरी में मैंने मेंशन किया है, राइट? इट डजंट मैटर एट ऑल।
बट सर मेरे लिए ना थोड़ा सा टफ हो रहा है, तो आप
हाँ
प्लीज मेरे को ना
हाँ,
एक एक वर्ड का मीनिंग और एक एक वर्ड क्या है ये थोड़ा सा मुझे बताते रहना।
यस,
और आप
स्टार्टिंग में
प्लीज
इट
थोड़ा
वुड
सा
बी
हिंदी
डिफिकल्ट।
भी यूज करिए।
एग्जैक्टली स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होगा आपके लिए, ओके? एंड एज कंपेयर टू अदर्स,
मैंने
आप
पहली बार ही ये वर्ड्स जो है ना, काफी वर्ड्स हैं जो मैंने पहली बार सुने हैं।
ओके ओके ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम नो प्रॉब्लम। आई मैं उसको थोड़ा सा ऐसे ढंग से समझाऊंगा सो दैट आपको पहले समझ आ जाए, आपको अलग से आपको समझ आ जाए, राइट? देन हम लोग आगे का क्लासेस एंड ऑल, मतलब मैं उसी तरीके से चलूंगा कि आपको स्क्रैच से स्टार्ट करूंगा सो दैट आपको समझ आती रही चीजें। मतलब मैं कुछ
हाँ
बेसिक, आपको कंप्यूटर चलाना आता है ये तो समझ सकता हूँ मैं, आता होगा कंप्यूटर चलाना।
हाँ, बेसिक तो
बस
सबको आते हैं।
बस अभी उतना बहुत है इस कोर्स के लिए, अभी के लिए इतना बहुत है। एडवांस लेवल पे जब जाएंगे वो बात की बात है, पहले हम अपने कंसेप्ट क्लियर करेंगे, ठीक है ना?
बट सर
फर्स्ट ऑफ,
जैसे अभी आपने मुझे काफी वर्ड्स बताए हैं तो वो मुझे नहीं पता।
कोई बात नहीं, वो किसी को भी, मुझे भी नहीं पता थे, राइट? पढ़ेंगे करेंगे तभी पता लगेगा, ऑलराइट? एक बार प्रोसेस में आएंगे, खुद ही जब प्रोसेस में आना शुरू करेंगे तो अपने आप चीजें समझ आनी शुरू हो जाएंगी, ठीक है ना?
ओके ओके।
या ओके, सो आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट एज्योर, राइट? ये देखो, प्री रिक्विजिट फॉर एज्योर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, मैनेज आइडेंटिटीज, कॉन्फ़िगर एंड मैनेज वर्चुअल नेटवर्क्स। अब देखो, जो भी अर्लियर वी यूज्ड टू कॉन्फ़िगर on-prem network resources, source like products, right? Which is your L3 switches, firewalls, है ना, routers. But nowadays everything is on cloud. You can configure the firewall on cloud itself. You can make the rules on cloud itself. You can make virtual network over there. You can communicate between two different virtual network. Let's say one VNet is in India and one VNet is in US, and I need to communicate, I need to make the communication between these two locations. I can make it, right? But in order to understand these topics, right, we should be aware of concepts. We should be good with our concept. We should work on premises solution, then only we will be able to understand the cloud services. So that is why it is just a foundation course. MCSA, I used to say it is a foundation course. If your foundation is strong, we will be able to understand cloud concepts also. If you are not, if our foundation is not strong, if you are not good with your concept, definitely it would be difficult to understand cloud service also. And I can bet on it, definitely you are going to learn cloud either today or after 2 years. Cloud he future, cloud is the future now. All right. So think wisely, select wisely how you want to work, how you want to learn, and then you will be able to grow after getting new technologies, after learning new technologies, then only you will be able to grow, right? So if this at the same time, see, if I'll try to search for any of the profile like cloud operations or cloud administrator, cloud operations engineer, okay, Google cloud operation, GCP, this is also Google cloud operation administrator. Okay, let me open this one. This opening is in Accenture, right? So see what and all things they are asking. Network infrastructure, right? Good to have skill experience with cloud platforms such as AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Then you have servers, strong understanding of cloud infrastructure component, including servers.
Sir, is there any difference between AWS and Azure?
Obviously, there is a big difference, right? But at the back end, whatever things are happening, that is same, right? You are able to create virtual machine in Azure, and on AWS it is called as EC2 instance,
Okay, sir.
right? Thoda sa nomenclature will be different. Basically the portal is different, but services are same. At some extent services are same, okay? And one more thing, if let's say you are good with Azure, right, you will be able to work on AWS also. I'm Azure certified, right? But I'm working on AWS. Why? Because my concepts are clear, because I know the concepts.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I just want to make your profile as both cloud admin as well as on-prem admin, so that you will fit in the profile where actually company needs you should have knowledge of on-prem as well as on cloud, right? Okay, so I think this is it for me. This is it from me for today. If you have any doubt, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Sir, this base is weekend or
Weekdays,
okay.
Monday to Friday, 8 p.m.
8 to
8 to 9:30.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, is there any VM for practice or we need to install VMware on our laptop?
Exactly. So for that, either you can configure, I would recommend to configure virtual machine on your laptop itself. If you have a good configuration in your laptop, I would recommend to do it on your laptop. Okay, but if you are not able to do it in your laptop, then in that case, we networking is also providing you the labs, so you can configure your servers over there also.
Okay.
Yeah, and if let's say you don't want to work on, I would recommend you guys to work on your laptop itself, because until or unless you are not going to work on Hyper-V and VMware, how you will be able to mention in your CV, right? So I would recommend to perform all these things on your laptop. Or if you are not able to, if you don't have a good configuration laptop, in that case, either you can go with the networking labs or you can go with any of the cloud platform also.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Is there any link for download VMware tools?
Yeah, sure. I will provide you. Okay, let me give you the link.
Yeah.
Even I'm going to give you the activation key also. Okay, so
Yeah.
once you are going to download this VMware from the website, you are going to get a 30-day trial.
Okay.
Okay, but later on I will give you the key so that it is not going to ask you for the activation key.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so my work will not lose.
Exactly.
So like you said, MCSA and Azure is a combo course. Is that
Exactly.
included, or do we have to pay for Azure?
Yeah, you have to
So-
pay for both courses individually, or even if you are opting both courses, in that case you might get some discounts also.
Okay.
Okay, so that you need to check with the backend team. They will explain this thing.
And how long it'll take to complete this course in weeks?
In weeks, you can say it will take around 8 weeks.
8 weeks for MCSA,
Exactly.
and how long for
And
the
for
Azure?
4 weeks for Azure, 1 month.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
See, so Azure after MCSA or before?
After MCSA,
Okay.
it would be easy for you to understand Azure once you are good with the MCSA.
So we have to inform backend team right now, or we can inform after MCSA course also.
That is your choice. Okay.
Okay.
If we are
So
going to opt both combo, then in that case, this is what I mentioned to Dilpreet also, that
yeah,
if you are going to opt for both the courses, you might get some discount
Dis-
also. Yeah.
okay. So I'll talk with backend team.
Yeah, sure, please. Okay, let me give you the VMware download. Okay, so you have to download it from here. Okay, try Windows Workstation 17 player for Windows. Okay.
Okay.
Or apart from this, there is one more option. Just give me a moment where it was here. VMware Workstation. Yeah. Okay, so if you're using Mac machine, then in that case you have to download VMware Fusion, right? And if you're using Windows machine, then in that case you can go for VM Workstation Pro for PC. Okay, so this link I'm giving you in your chat. And how to activate Hyper-V, that I will let you know in the next class. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this is it for today. And next time, I think the classes are going to be start from Monday, right?
So tomorrow is
One
no
last
class.
questions.
Sorry.
One last question. Will this webinar be uploaded on the recorded class website or not?
Exactly. It would be there.
Okay, thanks.
Every class you are going to get on your portal once we are done with the class. So by next day, you are going to get it on your portal.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So on Monday we need to join same link, or you will send another link?
That you will get on from the backend team itself. Okay.
Okay.
That is not something I'm managing. Okay. So
Okay.
that you will get from the backend team.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll see you Monday. So till then, guys, what you need to do, you have to just either if you want to work on VMware or you want to work on Hyper-V. Okay, let me tell you how you can activate Hyper-V also. If you're having Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Enterprise, then in that case, what you can do, go to turn Windows feature on or off. Okay, in case of Windows 10 Pro or Enterprise, right, you need to click on Hyper-V. In my case, it is already clicked. That is why you're able to see Hyper-V on my laptop, right? Same way you have to do. After that, it is going to ask you for a reboot. So once you're going to reboot your laptop, you will be able to see Hyper-V on your machine. Or if you're going to use Windows 10 Home or Windows 11 Home, then I will provide you one script. That script you have to run. and then you will get Hyper-V on your machine. Right? So I would recommend to do some of the labs on Hyper-V and some of the labs on VMware, so that you will get the exposure of both the tools. Okay. Rest, there are multiple tools that are being used in the organization. I will be explaining it time to time. Like we have a Nessus tool, which is basically to scan the vulnerability in your environment. We have Qualys tool. We have F-Secure. Multiple tools are there that are being used in the organization. I will be explaining it time to time. Okay. Okay, so signing off now. So I'll see you on coming Monday. So you will get all the details. You will get all the information from the backend team itself, how to join, whatever the links are going to be there. So you will get it from the backend team. And then once we will start our classes, I'm going to create our WhatsApp group also, so that if there would be any kind of communication, or if you want to discuss your doubts and all, so we can have a group chat as well. Okay. Chalo. So bye everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, sir. See you
Thank
later.
you. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, sir. Bye.